There's a reason your cat stares at you in the dark. It isn't creepy. It isn't random. And once you know what they're actually doing, you'll never look at 3 in the morning the same way again. Because your cat doesn't just sleep near you. They work a shift. Every night in a house, they believe is theirs to look after. They run through a sequence of behaviors so consistent that owners all over the world describe the exact same things: the stare, the paw on the cheek, the sudden move to the end of the bed, the purring at an hour when nothing should be purring. Tonight I'll walk you through all 8 in order. Most are quietly beautiful. Number 7 is the one I want every cat owner to know because people miss it, and it matters. Let's start at the moment you close your eyes. Number 1, the stare in the dark. You turn off the light, you settle. And your cat doesn't settle with you, not yet. They sit upright, tail wrapped around their feet, eyes open facing you. If you've ever half woken at some strange hour and found 2 glowing discs pointed straight at your face, you've walked in on this. Your first instinct is to laugh, feel slightly unnerved, and roll over. But look at what's actually happening. A cat's eyes are built for exactly this light level, not total darkness, but the dim gray of the bedroom at midnight. A reflective layer behind the retina bounces incoming light back through it. A second time, that's what makes them glow, and it's why they can read movement where you'd see only shapes. So your cat is doing the one thing they're best equipped in the world to do, and they're pointing it at you, watching your chest rise, watching the small twitches as you drop out of light sleep, keeping an eye on you in the most literal sense. It's not surveillance. It's the feline version of a parent standing in a doorway for a few seconds before going to bed. Number 2, the paw on the cheek. Later, usually much later, you might half surface because something touched your face. Light quick, gone before you can react. You assume you dreamed it. You didn't. Cats do this deliberately, and the equipment is remarkable. A cat's paw pads are dense with nerve endings and pressure receptors, one of the most sensitive parts of their body. It's why they test unfamiliar surfaces with a paw before committing a foot, and why so many cats hate having their paws held. So when your cat taps your face while you're unconscious, they're gathering real information. Warmth, movement, whether you respond. And here's the part that gets people. Most cats do it. Once get whatever they were looking for, and settle back down without another sound. They don't wake you. They don't demand anything. They check, and then they let you sleep. If your cat does this, they aren't being a nuisance at 2 in the morning. They're doing the softest possible version of making sure you're still there. Number 3, where they choose to lie on you. This is the one people ask about most, so let's do it properly. Because the spot your cat picks is not random. And after enough nights, it starts to look a lot like a language. On your chest, right over your sternum. This is the highest trust position a cat can take. They're on the softest, most exposed part of you. They're rising and falling with your breathing, and they've given up almost all escape options to do it. Owners describe cats who not only sleep there, but rearrange the human to make it work. One woman described her cat climbing up on the first night. She brought him home settling on her shoulder and then physically nudging her head into the position he wanted. That's not a pet tolerating you. That's a cat building a nest out of a person. Against your legs or across your feet. This is the practical position. Warm, stable, out of the way of your worst tossing and turning, and still close enough to feel you move. Cats who pick this spot are often the independent ones, and owners sometimes read it as coldness. It isn't. It's a cat choosing contact over comfort. Behind your knees or tucked into the curve of your back. A shelter position enclosed, hidden warm. Cats from rough starts, strays, and ferals and rescues often gravitate here. Under the blanket, fully committed. Rare, and owners who have one of these cats know how rare it feels. No cat buries itself in the dark under a duvet with an animal it doesn't trust completely, and on your pillow by your head. That one's about your face, your breath, your scent, the part of you they most identify as you. Number 4, the living thermostat. Somewhere in the middle of the night, your cat gets up, walks the length of the bed, and lies down somewhere else. Then an hour later, they do it again. This drives some people slightly mad, but it's one of the most rational things happening in that room. A cat's normal body temperature runs around 101 degrees Fahrenheit, meaningfully warmer than yours, and your temperature isn't constant overnight. It drops as you go under bottoms out in the small hours and climbs again before you wake. Your cat feels all of that, so they move toward you when the room cools off to the side. When your body radiates too much onto the covers, rather than under them as the night turns. That isn't restlessness. It's a small animal continuously solving a heat equation with you as one of the variables. And the side effect is real steady weight and warmth against your body is exactly the kind of input that helps a nervous system settle. Weighted blankets are a product you buy. You have a self-adjusting one that also loves you. Number 5, the patrol. At some point, your cat leaves. You feel the mattress lift. And a while later, you feel it dip again as they come back. They didn't go for food, and they weren't bored. Cats hold a mental map of their territory, and they maintain it the way you'd maintain anything you care about. By walking it and checking, nothing has changed. The route is usually identical. Doorways, windows, the hallway, the spot where the house makes that noise. And then the cat often comes back and settles facing the bedroom door, covering the entrance while keeping you in the corner of their vision. Their ears are doing more than yours ever could. Cats hear well above the ceiling of human hearing into frequencies we simply don't have access to, and each ear rotates independently to locate a sound. Every creak your house makes at 3 in the morning gets identified, filed, and dismissed by an animal you assumed was asleep. You get to sleep through the night partly because something in your house has already decided the night is fine. Number 6, the purr at 3 in the morning. This is the one that changes how people feel about their cat. Cats don't only purr when they're happy. They purr when they're injured, when they're frightened, when they're dying. And very noticeably, when the person they live with is in distress. Ask any group of cat owners and the stories pour out, and they're all the same story. Someone lying awake at the worst point of the worst week of their life, and a cat arriving without being called, climbing onto their chest, purring louder and longer than that cat ever purrs in daylight. People who've lived with anxiety for years describe it as the only thing that reliably brings them down. One woman wrote that she started crying alone at night. Her cat moved onto her chest and purred harder than she'd ever heard him purr, and that she credits him with getting her through it. Whether the purr itself is medicine is still an open question. What isn't in question is that your cat can tell the difference between you asleep and you falling apart. From your breathing, your movement, your smell, your heat, and that a lot of cats answer the second one by putting their whole body against yours and switching on the lowest, loudest sound they have. You didn't ask, they came anyway. Number 7, when they suddenly stop. Now the one I really want you to hear. Everything I've described so far is a pattern, and the value of a pattern is that a break in it means something. If a cat who has slept on your bed every night for years suddenly stops, starts sleeping under furniture in a closet, in the bathroom somewhere cold, somewhere low, somewhere alone, that is not your cat losing interest in you. Cats withdraw and hide when they don't feel well. It's an old survival instinct, and it's one of the earliest visible signs that something is wrong. The version of this that stays with me came from a woman whose cat abruptly stopped coming to bed. Not a mood, not a phase, a tumor. And what she did was quietly extraordinary. She took a blanket down to the floor where her cat had chosen to lie, and she went to her. She said her cat had never purred so much in her life. So take this one with you. A sudden change in where your cat sleeps deserves attention. Not panic cats change spots for boring reasons too. A new heater, a hot summer, a different couch. But if it arrives alongside anything else, eating less, drinking, more hiding, weight loss, moving differently, that combination is worth a vet visit sooner rather than later. Nobody knows your cat's normal except you. That's why you're the one who can catch this. Number 8, the alarm before the alarm. And then the night ends the way it always ends. Your cat wakes you up, and they do it a few minutes before your alarm was going to. Everyone assumes this is about breakfast. Some of it is. But the timing is the interesting part, because cats living with humans gradually lock onto human schedules. They learn your rhythm. When the light changes, when the heating clicks on, when your breathing shifts, as you come up out of your last sleep cycle, and they position themselves for the moment, you resurface. So the paw, the small chirp, the cat, simply sitting on your chest, staring at you as your eyes open. That's usually not an interruption of your sleep. It's an animal that's been tracking you for 8 hours, arriving exactly on time for the handover. Their shift is ending. Yours is starting. And one last thing for anyone whose cat doesn't do any of this. If your cat sleeps on the other side of the room, or on a chair, or on top of the wardrobe, and you've quietly wondered whether that means they don't love you, it doesn't. Some cats run hot and can't stand sleeping against a human body. Some are light sleepers who don't want to be kicked. Some are ex-strays who spent formative months learning that sleeping out in the open is dangerous. Plenty of deeply bonded cats simply prefer their own bed and demonstrate their affection at every other hour of the day. Proximity is one dialect. It isn't the whole language. So tonight when you turn off the light and you feel that weight land somewhere on the bed, know what it actually is. Not a pet being clingy. A small, warm, extremely competent animal deciding again that you're the thing worth staying close to. If you've ever caught your cat staring at you in the dark, or felt that paw on your face, tell me about it in the comments. Where does your cat sleep? And did they choose it? Or did they let you choose it? I read them all. And if this made you see last night a little differently, subscribe. Because we're working through the whole language of cats, one behavior at a time. Go hug your cat.